Well, let's see what Steve asks 89. Well, apparently, Captain America, the original, is returning to the Marvel Universe somehow. There's some movie coming out, and apparently he's going to be in it now. They don't say exactly. I think it was a website had some exclusive thing, and they were saying he's coming back. We don't know what capacity, but he's going to be in the film either way. So is he going to play old Steve? Is he going to play an alternative version of Steve who didn't, go back in time and then live his life with what's her name? Is he going to be like an evil Steve? What's he going to be? How are they going to use him? Chris Evans was in Deadpool playing Johnny Storm or whatever it was, and everyone thought, oh my god, it's going to be Captain. No, he's Johnny Storm, and you all saw it. But is this a desperate move? Some people are saying this is just desperate, just like bringing back Robert Downey Jr. I saw John Campea go on a real Stan rant about that, saying it's the stupidest thing ever for people to think Marvel's desperate. I'm like, are you kidding me? They've had one hit film, maybe 2 hit films since they ended, that era of, the MCU, and they didn't set up anything new. They didn't ease people in. He was right about that. He said they should have eased people in, brought in new people, and then they just ended one era and just started a new era, and you're just supposed to just jump on and have the same feelings for these people that they built up, over 23 films or something. I can see that point, but no, it is definitely a desperate move, bringing back Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans in different roles just because the current actors are not bringing people in, and the characters they're creating and focusing on and creating new movies for are not catching on like the other ones were, because either they're not as interesting, they're too obscure for people in the general public to know or care about, or maybe just burning out. I mean, the whole thing with Kraven the Hunter is getting really mixed reviews. Some people say it's great, like Grace Randolph saw it and said it was great. Other people, including John Campea, said it was, not looking good. A few other people have seen it and they've said it's awful. They're acting like it's the worst thing in the world. And I'm like, I think some of these people are just bitter, hateful people who, it's the old story, those who can't teach or those who can't critique, I guess. And a lot of people are just bitter, and they just know people are more interested in a train wreck or an attack or hate than they are in someone actually just supporting something. And I must admit, when I do reviews on stuff I love and movies I saw that were really great, it's harder to talk about it because it's like, yeah, it was great, and here's all the things I like about it, and then you're sort of like, what else do I say for the next 3 minutes? Whereas when you've got something to complain about and you're angry or upset or confused or annoyed, it just writes itself. So that I understand, but the rest, I just think people are being really negative, and but I do think Marvel is kind of desperate. They're just like, well, let's go back to what worked before, because what we're doing now doesn't work. And I'm like, how is going backwards not desperate? They're not moving forward with new characters and new stories. They're going back and dragging out alternate versions of the old ones who are just going to undermine the originals and make those seem hollow and pointless as well. Doesn't matter if that Steve had a great life and a great ending, because there's 50 other Steves and they're all miserable. So the multiverse was supposed to save media, as far as IP and that, but I think it's just killed everything because nothing matters anymore, and no one can keep track of anything anymore. There's no one thing that you can, invest in and learn about and know and be familiar with. It's just a mess. And bringing back, the legacy characters and the actors are just desperation. Even if they're creating different characters and not sort of retreading the actual ones that we said goodbye to, again, that's worse, because it just undermines that. And this is like, why do I invest in this one? You just disposed of the last one and now there's a new one. Well, how long until we get another? It's just, it's like, yeah. It's like James Gunn with Superman. He has no idea what is going to make a good Superman. Somehow he's got all the control and it's going bad and people can see it and no one's listening, and it's not going to be Joker 2, but people are saying it doesn't matter if it fails because they're not expecting it to save the DCU on its own. It's just supposed to be laying down the groundwork for all the other movies and all the things they're doing in the direction they're going in. But yeah, it's going to be a mess. So yeah, I just want to talk about that for a minute. Just want to talk about the whole Chris Evans returning, it looking desperate, and just the desperate nature of comic book films at the moment. I mean, it's kind of bad. There is a lot of fatigue and oversaturation, and the multiverse dilemma has really undermined and exacerbated everything. So yeah, I think I'll just get used to watching the DVDs of these movies because I don't think we're ever getting back to what we had before. But at the same time, I just bought Morbius and Madam Web, and I'm looking forward to doing a double and watching them, because if they're as bad as they say, they're going to be fun. If they're not as bad as they say, then I'll probably enjoy them. Like I kind of enjoyed Borderlands for the most part. It wasn't as bad as people said, but that was what everyone agreed to say. That was the line everyone went on with that. But I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the superhero situation.